And you're on the punchline with Kelly Pavlik and James Dominguez. And we are getting ready to go.
Yep.
Thank you. Just going to get my stuff all set up. Trying to find something that will hold my phone.
Right.
And that is becoming an issue.
Dude, it's becoming a big issue for all of us. Like phones and everything's always crazy now.
Yeah. I need one of those. All right. Can you see me good in here?
Yeah, I see him.
All right. So, yeah, we got some stuff to talk about, I guess.
What's up, Esteban? So we do have big stuff to talk about, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Well,
We got a half hour today, guys, so we're going to hop into it, too.
let's finish. Jeff says much champ on the Hall of Fame, well deserved. Much respect, Jeff Ondash said that.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
Darren's what's up? Hey, what's up, Darren? Yeah, let's finish that conversation we were having, Kelly, before the show.
Yeah.
Anthony Joshua.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, Joshua, he came in a little heavier this fight. They said it was on purpose. That he had to be a little heavier because
Yeah.
Pavakin is bigger. He just he looks good, and for a heavyweight that with his size, I mean, he could fight. Listen, well, I'm not going to get into that argument again about time differences, but I think for like this day and age,
That's Pulev, I thought, right?
with, yeah, but his size, he fights good.
Yeah.
You think that he beats Fury? I don't think. I think Fury's just too big. Again, I know that Joshua is 6'6", but I just think Fury's too big and awkward, and I don't see Joshua landing quite as easy. I don't think he's aggressive enough
Yeah.
to land on Fury. And unless Fury fights a stupid fight coming in like he did against Wilder, but if Fury fights the fight that he usually fights, I think he outboxes Joshua.
Fury's known to have fought stupid fights, like half his resume are stupid fights.
Yeah.
Against Wilder. I personally think Joshua beats him. I think Joshua's the more athletic in a different way. And I think the bigger puncher is Joshua.
Hey, what's up, Furman? No, Joshua, yeah, he's definitely the bigger puncher than Fury, but I just don't think he lands to that point. I mean, if you watch this fight that this past weekend, I mean,
Yeah.
he fought a guy. It pretty much wasn't. It was more of a guy just wanting to quit or tired.
Yeah.
I just think Fury, his punches didn't look as hard,
Yeah.
or sharp, or as crisp, and they didn't against Ruiz the second fight either. I know Ruiz is a little harder to hit, but Ruiz for this day and age is a small guy. He's a small
Yeah.
guy.
One or whatever. Hey, Green Arrow Yamaha says, "Hey guys, what's up?"
Cool.
Hey, so what did you think about the Joshua fight? I mean, you saw it more than I watched
Yeah,
it.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it just he did. If you've seen the second Ruiz fight, you've seen this fight. The guy, I think he more so was in there to survive and get lucky and land a big shot here and there. He would throw Pavakin would throw a big overhand right leaning in. Nothing special, nothing great. David Martinez says, I disagree. I think Fury starches Joshua. Fury takes down giants and boogeymen. He's an intelligent boxer who loves the upset. And I kind of agree with Damon. I
Yeah,
think Fury will be too much for Joshua. But
Derek.
I take another away from Joshua. I mean, right now he's a top guy. I mean, he did what he was supposed to do in there Saturday night. He used
Yep.
his, what you would like on that fight, James. If you've seen it, he used his height. He boxed. He didn't get caught up in stupid things or fights or stupid shit. I guess to put it that way, he didn't get caught up in that.
Well, Derek says AJ fights too small. I didn't see him fight too small in his last fight with Ruiz. He fought exactly the way he's supposed to.
He didn't fight too small in this one either.
I don't agree. I think he does fight taller now, and he's the guy with 6'6". I mean, how much shorter does he need to fight? He fights. I think the first fight with Ruiz, he learned a valuable lesson. You can't do that.
That was another one I seen with Pavakin. They said that Fury or
Pulev. He fought Pulev.
Pulev. I'm sorry. They said Usyk was too small for for Joshua. I said, "What are you guys? What are you looking at?" I said, "You just think is big. He's bigger than Pulev." I go, you know, they get listed at 6'3". I said, "I can guarantee you, he's every bit of 6'4". You
We've,
know,
we've,
and
we've hung
I,
out with you.
yeah, and he's probably in his mid 220s. He's gonna go in
Uh,
there.
the
I
day
think,
we saw him, what was he? He was 245 when we saw him. Do you remember?
yeah,
In New York, he said he was 245, and he was in shape.
yep. Gerada the Gallant says, "How about Hunter versus Joshua?" Joshua in that one. I seen Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter was even a good cruiserweight.
Yeah. Uncle Sham says Joshua doesn't seem like a guy that can beat Fury. Joshua has good close range uppercut combos for a big guy, but don't see Fury getting caught up with those. Fury can though if he fights stupid. I like
Fury
Joe's
does.
chances against Fury.
Fury does like to tie people up. That's one of his repertoires, tying you up and wearing you out with that big body.
Yeah, the strategy.
He doesn't. He's smart. Fury is a smart fighter.
He is, and he's slick too. For a 6'9" guy, he's slick.
But people have realized Fury can't make the same mistake he did against Wilder against Joshua. Joshua's a lot smarter fighter and a better fighter than Wilder.
Yeah, but I mean, again on that too, though. But if Wilder would his knockout, and he knows how to knock people out, if he couldn't do it, I think Fury has a harder time because Fury's been showing that he's not that big of a knockout guy.
Yeah, but Joshua can put people away too.
I mean, Joshua. That's what I'm saying. No, Joshua hasn't showed it though. He hasn't really been. He has in the past. Don't get me wrong. First fight with Ruiz was close to being knocked out. He starched Klitschko in the later rounds, but I think if Wilder had a hard time, I think Joshua will too with Fury. Yeah,
Yeah.
David says Joshua would have to be ready to wrestle and push with Fury. Fury comes in at 275. Joshua would have to match that size. Fury is quick on his
Oh,
feet. Now, I agree with Damon a little bit on that, but at the same time, I don't think it's a good idea for Fury to come in at 275 for this fight.
I don't even think it's a good idea for him to come at 245 for that fight. I think 230 is right where he needs to stay. 235.
Who? Fury?
No, Joshua.
Oh yeah, no, maybe I'm mixing names up. Fury. I think he should come in about 260 for that fight with Joshua. Um, I think he would have to. A big part that would help Fury is the longer that fight goes with Joshua, because here's what happens: Joshua don't throw a lot of punches unless you make him throw a lot of punches, and we've seen numerous times with Joshua. No matter if he's off the weights or not,
Yeah,
he tires, he muscle fatigues, and he started doing it in this last fight. Fury, on the other hand, if Fury takes a lot of them early rounds, Joshua is going to have to try to compete
yeah,
or make up for those rounds, and that's where it's going to benefit Fury because Fury's used to showed that he could fight later into a fight.
true.
Um, if he could get Joshua to do that, he could fade Joshua quickly doing that too.
Hey, G. Terrell says it seems like Joshua hasn't yet fully combined his pre-release style with the more cautious fundamental style he developed for the rematch. Maybe it made him hesitant in the Pulev fight.
He did.
Possibly. But I also know this. A lot of times when fighters change styles or they do get caught up in an old style and a new style. They really haven't figured which one they're more comfortable in yet. They go back to one to the other.
We'll have to figure something out if he does fight Fury.
Well,
Let's hope that fight happens.
you remember when Gotti? You remember when Gotti first when
Gert.
Buddy McGirt?
Yeah.
He became this great boxer they were talking about, and as soon as for the first couple rounds he was right, but as soon as he got hit in the snout, he became
Yeah, Gotti was a little different too, though. He's harder to. God, as soon as you hit him, I mean, everything went out the window. I don't know. I don't know if anybody could ever fix that. He's just Gotti was a warrior, man. He just wanted to brawl. Damon says Joshua can snipe from the outside. Joshua has to be on his A game against Fury. I see what James sees in Joshua. He's a much sharper sniper than anyone Fury's faced. Yeah, but my only thing is he's sharpshooting 3 inches up now
yeah.
against a guy who's slick. Nobody's hit Fury clean that much. I think the only one was Wilder, and Fury showed he could take it.
Well, I think what he needs to do is focus on that big ass body of Fury's.
Yeah.
That's what you do with guys that are 3 inches taller or slick. You focus on that body.
But I think Fury, I understand that, but Fury can make it hard. Fury with that jab and right hands. Believe me, Joshua don't. As we've been seeing the last two fights,
Yeah.
Joshua don't want to get hit. You don't like it.
I'm
Uh,
going to focus on his 44-inch waist. You know what I mean?
yeah, Fury starts tapping him with some jabs and right hands. I don't know how Joshua is going to react.
Well, knowing that Joshua's chin is it can be lights out. But Darren Kelly said Golovkin gave Kelly props when he was asked a question in his press conference for his upcoming fight. Said he's a middleweight he looks up to.
Yeah, we've seen that. That was nice of him.
Yeah, Golovkin said he looked up to you.
Yeah, I just watched that. I watched it on
We
Seconds
watched
Out
it today.
boxing.
Yeah, we both watched it.
Yeah. No, you got to go to Seconds Out. It's a little more clearer. That was just the Instagram one from Seconds Out. Uh,
Canelo said that about you about 2 weeks ago, didn't he?
yeah. Hey, we got. It seems like I haven't seen this guy on here. Ugly and Proud Seven said, Gotti was the nicest celebrity athlete ever met. After Gotti Ward 3 weigh-in, they stopped for a photo. Told her entourage he'd catch up with them just to start a conversation with us. Great guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Listen, I've met Gotti. Unfortunately, I talked to him a couple nights before the tragic incident, but I talked to Gotti before that a handful of times, and Gotti was a down to earth man. He was a really really nice guy.
He was a sweetheart of a human.
Yep. Where today, Andre Ward said Joshua made a lot of mistakes. Did you see in the Pulev fight? Yeah, I seen some, but Pulev wasn't doing anything to exploit it. He didn't counter enough. He didn't throw. Pulev really just fired it when he was in desperate, need of wanting to knock him out,
Yep.
especially in the middle rounds.
Esteban says Central Asian hospitality. And Nadim Mahidi said, hello, everyone. How you doing, Nadim? No, but Canelo said a couple weeks ago that he was a fan of yours, too. So you've been pretty, lucky lately. They've been all giving you props, huh?
I guess it's pretty
You
cool.
know, I get ready to go to the Hall of Fame.
They know what's up. Nah,
Hey, did you see the new Hall of Fame? Floyd
that's good.
Mayweather, Ward, and who else was it? Somebody else got in there. It was Floyd, Andre Ward, and for this year, just got to the International Hall of Fame. Yeah, Floyd did,
Cool.
and Andre Ward did. We knew those were gonna be first ballot guys, and Cotto got it.
Oh, sweet. That's cool. Gerardo said you guys are dope for this. Ugly and Proud said, and congrats on the AC Hall of Fame selection. Thoughts about?
And I'm
Thank
proud of that. I'm proud of you for Kelly for that.
thank you, Ugly and Proud. I appreciate it, man. I'm excited. It's good. James just mentioned, there's more names to be added to it. I think it's going to be cool. Going to be a lot of great fighters there too. So I'm excited.
Darren says, do you think Fury would try to fight Joshua like Wilder in the rematch or box him? I think Fury would try to box him. I don't think you would do him to fight like Joshua like Wilder.
Yeah.
You're messing with a guy that's more technically gifted and Olympic gold medalist. You're not going to fight him the same way you fought Wilder. You'll get caught.
Yeah. I would personally, for me, I would yeah, like you, I would fight. If I was Fury, I would fight with the boxing. He's got the good boxing ability himself. Make Joshua come to you. Make Joshua throw.
Yep.
Counter him. Frustrate him. Joshua's not going to mix it up that much, and Joshua will eventually get muscle weary.
And that's what I was going to say too. That was what I would do. I would counter. I'd be more of a counter puncher with Fury or with Joshua, and eventually the knockout's going to come. Somewhere the fight will come eventually.
Yeah. Furman Carrasco's thoughts on the Canelo versus Smith fight. I have a feeling it will be a good one. I think it's going to be a good one. I truly do. I think Canelo wins it, but I think it's a lot tougher than what people think. I think Canelo maybe figures it out by the fifth round and starts picking it up. The reason why I say that is fucking Smith was a big dude who's pretty skilled technically. He's a big boy. I know Kovalev was compared to Canelo, but I think it might be just a little different this time. But I'm still going with Canelo. I just think down a lot he pulls it out.
Hey Kelly, Sakura Armstrong, one of our favorite shows out there. She just said she brought up two names that got into the International Hall of Fame, and I'm sorry for not mentioning them. Layla Ali got in, and so did Ann Wolfe.
Oh, awesome! Heck,
Yeah. And, I love Ann Wolf. She's a personal friend of both of ours, you know?
yeah.
You know what? I'm going to tell a cool story about Ann Wolf. Ann Wolf flew. I'm going to fuck somebody up in a minute. No, Ann Wolf flew out to Ohio, and she wanted to go to the NFL Hall of Fame. So she texted me and said, "Hey, I need someone to show me around Ohio in the Hall of Fame." And I said, "Sure." So she flew out, and we spent the whole day Hall of Fame and everything. And she goes, "What football team do you like, James?" I said, "I'm a Broncos fan." So she comes out, and she bought a bunch of shit. She bought me a real Peyton Manning jersey, like the actual Peyton Manning jersey, not a copy, but an
Mhm.
actual game-worn Peyton Manning jersey.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I remember you telling me about that.
I was like, "Ann, you don't have to get me that. I don't need anything." She said this. She said, you'll take it, you motherfucker. I'm gonna knock you out. I said, "I'll take the Peyton Manning jersey. Thank you." She called me a motherfucker and said she was gonna knock me out, dude. So we go out to eat at one of the Italian places in Canton, right? And I snatched the bill from her, and the way she looked at me was like, "It's on." I said, "No, I got this one. You're gonna have to knock me out. You're not
Yeah.
paying for that." But she is such a sweetheart, you know.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Good for them. That's big. That's huge right there.
Luis, one of the best writers out there, Luis Ocasio, said, "I wish Cotto was a first ballot Hall of Famer. They have a logjam there." I think so too.
Yeah, he will be too. I mean, that you talk about another guy who fought just about everybody. Win or lose, he fought.
Yeah.
Cotto fought everybody. Uncle Shaf says White wants to fight with Luis Ortiz or Ruiz Jr. now since Pavakin pulled out with Corona.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
let him. I mean, I don't care on that. Heavyweight division, make let
I
him go.
got to fight. We should talk about Shakur Stevens, how he looked.
Oh yeah. Well, Uncle Sham, real quick. Will Callum Smith hit Canelo harder than Kovalev or Triple G? He can. I don't know about
If he will.
if he will, but I mean, he should be able to. He's a big super middleweight. So
I think, a lot of times people always wonder about the fighter hitting hard. A lot of times a fighter can hit hard, but they don't always do if they know they're going to get countered. They don't always let the punch go. They're afraid it's going to come back.
yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm with my phone again.
I mean, sometimes, you have the power there to knock somebody out, but you can't always let it go because you're going to get countered by a good counter puncher. So it kind of, sometimes you can't let that punch go the way it is. You have to get back in a position, so like that. So a lot of fighters are hesitant. And I think Kovalev was hesitant that night to let those big punches go because Canelo hit him every time he threw a punch, Canelo hit him back. And I think Canelo is one of the best counter punchers in the sport.
Absolutely. Well, Gerardo goes lightweight talk. He's question mark Nakatani. Um, okay, well, we're going to probably get into that one
Yeah,
because we're going to talk about Shakur.
with Verdejo. Oh, the baby's up there.
Yeah, Shakur Stevens. That was a hell of a performance by him. That kid he fought was a phenomenal fighter.
Yeah,
So yeah, they got the baby there.
they got the baby. Yeah, but you know what, Shakur, I was wrong about Shakur. Let me tell you, I remember when he first came out on the scene, his first few fights. I always thought he was like a third tier fighter because we didn't see nothing special from Shakur. I didn't. I saw like Teofimo, and I saw guys like Devin Haney, and I saw Virgil, and I always thought Shakur was on that bottom rung. You know what I mean? Him and Conley were that second level, right?
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, Shakur just became, I think, one of the more elite guys in that group.
Yeah, I mean everything. That kid he fought was a talented, skilled fighter. I mean, the kid was a sharp fighter and had a lot of speed. And you just seen Shakur take it right out of him. I mean, right after the second round, it was gone. It was a fight. It was a kid. I mean, his speed wasn't even there no more because he was doing everything to try to block punches and not get hit with those body shots. Shakur showed great poise. He went to the body, to the head. That was a terrific performance by Shakur in that fight.
Yeah,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
don't Kelly. Chuck Saul says, what super middleweight big name should Edgar Berlanga fight? He shouldn't fight any big name yet. He moves along, guys. You guys, people want Berlanga to fight Bivol or these guys, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. He's 16-0. Move him the right way. He's not ready for none of those guys yet.
Yep.
And for me personally, Berlanga, I know everybody falls in love with this guy's power, but there's a lot of deficiencies in the
Well,
power.
here's my thing. He obviously got power. I mean,
He does. I see
17
a lot of
knockouts, 17 fights, or 16 knockouts. Okay, yeah, we got that. But listen, the shit changes when you start climbing the ladder. And we don't know. I mean, to be throwing his name out there with the B-balls and Better Beeves and Benavidez is crazy talk right now.
Caleb Plant, all those dudes.
Yeah, put him in there with somebody who currently gave one of the world champions a good fight. And then if he takes them out in 20 seconds, well, then you're going to have to put him in there with the top dogs. But till then, he got a lot of proving to do. But
I
Uncle Sham says commentators consistently wrong, saying the opposite of what is happening. Cutting to commercial before ends, coming back from commercial after the round started, showing replay of previous round while current round is happening, and worse is they take forever in between fights to babble incoherently about nonsense.
well, because they're under contract with that company, they can't say what they really want to say.
Yeah, they have to do what they do. But I tell you, Bradley sometimes on things, I
He's
don't know.
crazy.
I don't know with him. I forget what it was the last fight. He said something. I was kind of uh, well. Ward surprised me. You know, and the first time I disagreed with Ward. Okay, it was I think it was a Shakur Stevenson fight, or maybe the fight before that.
Yeah,
The guy was getting beat up all over the ring, and it was. And I've been saying this recently about a lot of these fights. Stop the
yeah.
fucking fight. Stop it. I mean, you'll know a guy has no chance of winning the fight, and not even a miracle could help a guy in there at that point. Stop. That's where That's where a lot of these injuries come into play, and they let it go. And Bradley was saying they should have stopped the fight, and Ward was going, but the guy worked for all this, and he worked as hard to get there. And I can kind of see that, but at the same time, like, dude, that's where people get hurt. The guy's not showing any chance in hell of winning the fight. Um, so some of these commentators, I mean, it seems like they want to go against each other more than they want to agree with each
Oh,
other.
they want to stick a fork in each other's throats to prove their
Yeah.
point. You know, and but the thing is that, hey, Donald Leary, Coach Leary says, "What's up? What's up,
Hey,
Donald?"
Donald. But
And
Ward, for the most part, does a great job. I mean, I
yeah,
love
he
listening
does.
to Ward.
I'm a fan of his. But no, here's my thing. Berlanga looks good, but I personally see and a lot of coaches here, a lot of fans that know the sport. There's a lot of fuck shit he does. Excuse my language, but he is not very technical, guys. He makes a lot of mistakes, and the problem is he is not getting better because he's not getting rounds in. Every fight's lasting one round. You're not going to get better until you get rounds in, and even sparring doesn't help that.
That's right. No, it's not. He needs the rounds. They're going to have to take the chance to put him in against. Listen, it was kind
Even,
of. I'm not saying that. Well, shit out. My record was very similar to this kid's, and they eventually got to put you in with Ross Thompson's or guys like that that'll take you to rounds. Ring General says, "My boy Kelly Pavlik, I'm glad you're getting inducted. I appreciate it." Uh, Uncle Shan said, "I made money off that Japanese guy. Good pressure fighter. I knew Verdejo would gas out. He fights like an amateur, goes hard 3 or 4 rounds, then runs for his life every fight."
so Coach Leary says this, Kelly. He has a lot of growing to do. Need to pick better opposition. 100%, Donald. That's what we said too. And technical, like I see his punches falling beneath his chin. I see that it looks like for me, I'm a big technique guy. I see the punches falling. I see the stutter stepping with the right hand. He'll want to throw it and hold it, things like that.
Head is in the air all the time. Uh, his hands are down by the chest
Yes, little things going to get a young fighter in trouble.
because he could get away with it right now. He don't have somebody that's going to take that punch right now and counter back with him.
Guy says Berlanga's a little sloppy. He better clean that up before he gets in there with someone like Sims or any skilled prospect. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
There's guys out there, maybe not with the greatest records, that will take advantage of little things like that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be negative on him.
I'm
I'm
not.
saying like, hey, it's impressive what he's doing, and you can tell he hits. I mean, when he hits these guys, you can hear the sound throughout the entire arena.
Yeah,
But when you get a guy in there who can take that punch and who can fire back, it's a different ball game.
yeah, I agree. Um, Yeah, Darren says, did you see the footage of Lubin sparring Berlanga? I know just sparring, but Lubin was landing some big shots. Yeah, and you can see some little things in sparring, but I never put too much stock into sparring because everybody in sparring are working on different things. Even when you're in there with an opponent, you're being told to work on this, work on that, and sometimes your sparring partners just don't.
Totally different feel, totally different situation, totally
Well,
different
Kel,
atmosphere.
when you were sparring, weren't you told to work on something in a particular specific?
Not every time. I mean, you go out and you spar, but you're in your head. You know what you got to work on. Sparring. I mean, everything about it, from the size of the gloves to no headgear to the lighting to knowing that there's no pressure on you because it's only sparring. It's just everything about it is totally different. It really is, unless you're really getting a guy in there for the first time who's been talking shit, and you're going in there to whoop his ass like it's a fight. But other than that, it's two different ball games.
Yeah.
But
Darren's Berlanga's first round knockouts can be a gift and a curse. It will help him marketing wise, and it gets his name out there. But he needs rounds to learn to be ready for tough competition. Even if it means carrying a fighter for a few rounds, just to get the rounds in. You know what I mean?
yep, Berlanga versus David Lemieux. That could be a good one.
I think Lemieux's maybe a little too experienced right now.
Well, I mean, when give us three more fights, if he gets up to the 20-0 with 20 knockouts, you're going to kind of have to put him in with a David Lemieux.
Oh, what about this? What about David? What about Gabriel Rosado and fucking Berlanga?
I think
That
Rosado is more dangerous than Lemieux.
I think
Lemieux is coming up from middleweight. I mean,
I think Rosado just got robbed. He just won his last fight. He was robbed.
yeah. But Rosado, I mean, I don't know. Lemieux could pop, but Lemieux really could hit hard at middleweight. But having him jump up to 168, maybe he's not carrying all that power. It could be a good test. It still might be a little too early for Berlanga, but
It's you want to jump into Errol Spence?
yeah, because we got, unfortunately, like 3 more minutes, 4 more minutes, guys. We're doing with these Zoom calls right now. We can't
We're
carry
gonna
on. But
we're
yeah,
gonna be
let's go ahead, Spence.
we're gonna be back on our hour show here soon. We're just getting through the COVID stuff and what we got.
Um, Spence looked sharp. I thought he looked fantastic. Good fight. Uh, Danny Garcia did what he could do. Danny's a very talented guy, and for anybody to talk shit now after a performance like that is crazy. I think just Spence was the issue for Danny Garcia. I
Yeah,
think Danny got hit with some big combos and big shots, and everything went out the window.
yeah.
And Spence showed everybody again why he is, one of the top guys at that weight class.
Hold on, Kelly. Dutch says if Spence fights Pac, who do you guys got? That's what I'm curious about. I'm of the opinion Pac-Man still beats just about any welter on a night. I'm not gonna say anyone. There's a few out there that Pac will get beat by.
Yeah, he'll get beat by Sean Porter.
He'll get beat by Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford definitely.
Yeah, and I'm saying Sean Porter because Sean Porter right now is not. Nobody has him as a top guy at that weight class. But as we mentioned, his style, he's just a big guy, naturally big, who came down from heavier weights, and he's strong, and he'll get in there and he'll roughhouse Pacquiao. Pacquiao will not be able to keep him off.
Yeah, Kai Lemieux was 168 when he fought Billy Joe, but Lemieux looked like garbage at 68 too. He couldn't get off his punches. He looked very very flat. Um, but Kelly, I think Mikey Garcia beats Pac
I think that's a hell of a fight for
at 140. At 140, because Mikey
140 definitely.
Mikey's a fantastic counterpuncher, and we all know Manny Pacquiao does not do well with counterpunchers.
Yeah. Real quick, ugly and proud. Rosado robbed for short. Not sure if that will completely ruin boxing for him since he's been in a heck of a lot of entertaining fights. Nah, he'll bounce back from that one. Just because of the fact that he's been in those type fights.
Rosado's at 10 losses. He bounces back.
Yeah, it ain't gonna affect him.
Donald said, "Happy holidays, guys. Have to go. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Donald."
Uncle Sham said Sergio Martinez recently won a comeback fight. Kelly should rematch him. What? Wait, Uncle Sham. Where do you think I'm getting down to? I gotta cut one of my legs off.
Well, it looks like you lost weight, Kelly. I saw you today. You lost weight.
No,
No?
no, and I'm actually getting stronger, surprisingly.
No, I'm getting stronger too.
Yeah. Um. Well, that's about it, guys.
But no, what's your take on Errol Spence Crawford now that you've been watching both of them fight recently? Who do you think wins that fight?
I'm still leaning towards Crawford in that one, but it's a toss up, man.
You know what Dutch said? I'm surprised you guys pick against Manny. He has got old since last fight. You guys know something we don't. No, it's not that. I just think like you guys. I think Dutch is going like Thurman. He looked good against Thurman. Thurman's always been flawed. Thurman's never been a great fighter for the welterweight division. He's decent, but you look at guys like Crawford and Spence who are great fighters, and Pacquiao might be just a little too old and too small for them.
He is for these guys. This new breed of heavy or welterweights. Thurman is the guy to go to if you're going to look good. But when you start talking about him fighting Porter, Thurman, or not Thurman, Spence and Crawford, totally different. But
Um, the thing is this: Errol Spence is a kid that walks around 190 pounds. He's not a kid that walks around at 55, 160. He's walking 3 weight classes higher than he's a big kid.
yep.
And then you got you. And then look, Crawford is a guy that probably walks around about 75 himself. They're big kids, and they're younger. So I don't know.
Yep.
And I just think the style of Mikey Garcia is just that counter puncher that can punch will make Manny more tentative to come in and jump in and lunge in if you're going to get caught with hard shots. And you don't know when age is going to pop up. We don't know when Mr. Age is going to show up either.
You don't. Now, Manny's looked bad at some of his fights not too long ago. But, all right, well, our producer is ready to cut up.
All right.
Justin, we are good. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, share, like, and we'll be back next week and hop on the Punchline page.
All right. We'll be back to an hour soon.